Something big just happened in San Francisco. The 49ers have finally made a bold move, a trade that could completely change their defense. For weeks, fans were asking, when will they fix the pass rush problem? Well, the wait is over. The 49ers have pulled the trigger, bringing in a new pass rusher under the direction of John Lynch. And trust me, this move could shape the rest of their season. Before we dive deeper into this breaking story, if you love getting the latest updates and real talk about the 49ers, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit like, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss big news like this. Alright, let's move on to the new update. Just a few hours ago, the Niners lost edge rusher Travis Gibson, who was signed off their practice squad by the Carolina Panthers. That left San Francisco with only 2 healthy defensive ends heading into Sunday's matchup against the New York Giants, a dangerous spot for any defense. At 5-3, the 49ers are still right in the fight for the NFC West. They have great coaching, strong leadership, and serious talent, but without pressure on the quarterback, even the best teams can fall apart. This trade isn't just another roster move, it's a statement. The Niners are not giving up on this season. They're saying loud and clear, we're still coming for the NFC. Stay with me, there's a lot more to unpack about how this move could change everything for the 49ers. The trade deadline is closing in, November 4th, and let's be honest, this move can't be the last one the 49ers make. It's smart, no doubt about it, but it feels like just the beginning. The front office clearly isn't done yet. This new trade is already turning heads. The 49ers have landed Keon from the New England Patriots. In return, the Patriots get a 2026 sixth-round pick, while San Francisco also receives a 7th-rounder and a young defensive end with real upside. That's a deal that makes sense. Low cost, high potential. Keon is exactly the type of player the 49ers love. Strong, flexible, and built for their system. He's got the kind of size and versatility this defense feeds on, a player who can shift between defensive end and tackle without losing power. If you've followed this team over the years, you've seen this pattern before. The Niners have a thing for hybrid pass rushers, guys who can plug any hole and still pressure the quarterback. From Charles Omenihu to Arden Key, from Jordan Willis to Mikael Williams, all cut from the same mold, tall frame, long arms, violent hands, and the motor to attack from anywhere on the line. Keon fits that blueprint perfectly. He's not just depth, he's another weapon. And when you combine that with San Francisco's coaching and defensive scheme, it's easy to see why this trade could turn into a real steal. Stay with me, because what this means for the 49ers' defensive rotation next week is worth paying attention to. The 49ers didn't just make this move randomly. They saw something in Keon that fits perfectly into their system. What grabbed their attention was his versatility and his ability to create pressure from almost anywhere on the line. Back in 2024, his numbers spoke for themselves. Lining up mostly on the edge, he delivered steady pressure on nearly 10% of his snaps. When used at defensive end, that number jumped even higher, over 13%. And when he slid inside to defensive tackle, he turned it up again, close to 16%. That kind of consistency tells you one thing: this guy can find the quarterback no matter where you line him up. But here's what changed. New England brought in a new regime this season. With Mike Vrabel taking charge, several players from the old Bill Belichick system started to lose their place. The team began moving on from anyone who didn't match their new defensive philosophy. We've already seen Kyle Duggar sent to Pittsburgh, and now Keon becomes another casualty of that shift. Because of that, his snap count dropped sharply this year, and so did his production, not because his talent disappeared, but because he simply wasn't being used. Yet when he did get chances, especially on the interior, he still managed to make an impact. His 2024 season remains proof: 5 sacks, 45 pressures, and a solid pass rush grade that showed he can handle real responsibility. And remember, this is a former second-round pick out of Georgia Tech. He's young, athletic, and proven enough to suggest that under the 49ers system, he could rediscover that spark quickly. Stay with me. Next, we'll talk about how San Francisco plans to use him, and what his arrival really means for the defensive rotation. When the 49ers look at potential signings, they don't just see numbers on paper, They look for explosive athletes who can handle the physical demands of their system. And Keon White fits that mold almost perfectly. His athletic testing was off the charts. A 9.94 out of 10 on the relative athletic score, that's elite territory. Standing at 6 feet 4 inches, weighing around 285 pounds, and still running a 4.79 in the 40-yard dash, that's not normal. At 30 bench reps, a 34-inch vertical, and a 9-foot broad jump, and you start to understand why San Francisco was interested. That's rare power and burst packed into one body. If you compare that to Charles Omenihu, another player who thrived under the 49ers system, the numbers are strikingly close. Omenihu's athletic score was 9.15, just a bit lower, with nearly identical size and playing style. The 49ers turned him into a key piece before he earned a big contract elsewhere. It's easy to imagine they see the same kind of potential in White. Statistically, White also stands out among NFL linemen. He's one of only a handful who have played meaningful snaps both on the edge and inside, proving his flexibility. That's exactly what this defense values most: players who can move across the line, create mismatches, and stay unpredictable. Even though he's had fewer interior snaps this season under the Patriots' new coaching staff, the raw talent hasn't gone anywhere. He was even a healthy scratch last week, but that just means he's fresh and ready for a new opportunity. At around 285 to 290 pounds, he's in that perfect weight range that the 49ers love, strong enough to battle inside, quick enough to win on the edge. And here's another win: he's under team control through 2026. That means the Niners get both talent and stability without spending big. This is exactly the kind of smart, forward-thinking move that keeps a contender dangerous deep into the season. Stay with me, because what this signing means for the 49ers' defensive identity moving forward is something we need to talk about next. It's good that the 49ers made this move, because when you look at Keon White's numbers from last season, it's clear he's more than just a depth piece. He's a real producer when given the chance. According to performance data from last year, White quietly built a strong resume. His overall grade sat at 68.5, ranking him inside the top half of all NFL edge rushers. When it came to pass rushing, he stood even taller, a 76.7 rating that placed him among the league's top 20. That's not just good, that's impact-level production. He was also one of the most durable players on the field, logging over 800 total snaps, which ranked 11th at his position. That's rare consistency for a young defensive lineman. In those snaps, he generated 45 total pressures, 9 quarterback hits, and 6 sacks, all from a player still finding his rhythm in the league. White's film shows the same thing his numbers do: he wins with strength, not flash. His first step isn't lightning fast, but his hands, balance, and power let him control blockers and finish plays. And when you see 2 forced fumbles on top of all that, you understand why the 49ers were intrigued. This isn't a random gamble. It's a move for a player with proven ability, untapped potential, and a physical style that fits exactly what San Francisco values in its front line. Stay with me, because up next, we'll look at how Keon White's arrival could shift the roles of other defenders on this 49ers roster. Those numbers aren't just decent, they're the kind of stats that earn you a real role on a team like the 49ers. And now, Keon White won't have much time to settle in. He's going to have to play right away. This isn't the start of the season, where there's room to wait and ease a player in. The Niners are short on healthy defensive ends, and that means White steps in immediately as their third man on the edge. He's in shape, he's ready, and most importantly, he's needed. Now, no one's expecting him to take on a massive workload instantly, but when those crucial passing downs come, the ones that decide drives and games, he'll be on the field. In this system, especially in that wide 9 formation, he can line up outside or slide inside, giving the defense flexibility and surprise. His job will be clear and simple: attack the quarterback, play with violence, and use every ounce of that 285-pound power to collapse the pocket. And there's something else that makes this move even more interesting: motivation. After being pushed out of the rotation in New England, White arrives in San Francisco with something to prove. That hunger, mixed with the energy of a locker room chasing wins, can be a dangerous combination. This trade isn't just about filling a gap, it's about sending a message. It shows the front office still believes in this team, that they're willing to fight for the season and give their players every chance to win. So credit to John Lynch and the 49ers for stepping up when it mattered most. This move adds talent, belief, and spark to a defense that still has the power to dominate down the stretch. Stay with me, because this story is only getting started.